How to supersize your business from the word go. Our idiom today is from the word go. Since the mid-1800s, people have been saying, ready, set, go, when they wanted to start a race or wanted to get something going. And since that time, the expression from the word go has meant from the very beginning, from the very start. So how do you use from the very beginning or the very start, even if you didn't just start your business, to supersize and grow it? Well, there's a couple of ways you can do that. One, know where you're going. Know where and what it is that you're building when you're creating your business, when you have your business. You might have started your business like I did early on. Of course, I've had lots of businesses, so which one am I talking about? I usually would start a business because I wanted to create a steady flow of income for me, or an additional sideline income for me when I was working in corporate America, just to be able to do what I want when I want and provide for my kids and my family, and to be able to contribute to different things that were of interest and importance to me, to have the resources to make a difference, to make an impact. So I would look at a business, and mostly I was in it for, could I make money at it? Would I be decent at it? Could I make money at it? And would it be a positive contributor to the world around me, right? I tried to never be involved in a business that had a negative impact on other people or on the world. Now, sometimes competitors would say, oh, you're having a negative impact on my business, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about overall, are you making the world a better place or not a better place? From the very beginning with the end in mind. And I didn't learn this till later on in my business entrepreneurial career, even in my corporate career, to begin with the end in mind and how powerful that is. When we start something new and we have an idea of what it is that we want and where we're going, we're much more likely to get there than when we start something we have no idea exactly what it's going to turn into. Now, of course, we'll never know exactly how everything's going to turn out. We certainly won't know every step along the way in our journey to creating what it is that we want, but oftentimes we'll be surprised at what we create, and that it's much better and more incredible than we ever could have even imagined as we go through the steps of moving toward what it is that we want for our businesses, for any area of our lives, and for the people that we're here to influence and impact, and whose lives we're here to touch. Because most of our businesses aren't just for the sake of something to do to waste our time here on the planet. We've created them for a reason, and that's why they'll grow. Now, that, speaking of why, is the next thing to keep in mind. Why we begin something, why we start something, is so critical and so important to what it is that we create, how we achieve, and what we do with our business. Because stuff's going to get tough. We're going to have problems. We're going to have challenges. We always think, I don't know why, but as human beings, we think that, oh, if I just get to this next level, if I just get to making $1 million, everything will be awesome, and I'll be, fluffy, and life will be so smooth and amazing. Guess what? When you go from 6 figures to 7 figures, your problems don't go away. They just change and they get bigger. And they're now $1 million business problems instead of 6-figure business problems. So if we think that we're never going to have challenges, if we think that we're never going to have to solve problems, it's actually interesting. The bigger our businesses get, the bigger the problems are that we're capable of solving, and the more fun it is, right? So if we ever think that in business or in life, we're just going to smooth sail through everything, and I guess we kind of do. I have gotten to the point where I look at challenges as fun, right? They're really exciting and fun. It's like, all right, what are you throwing at me now, world? What am I going to do to figure this out? Because we can always figure it out. So have your why in mind. I like to say, once you know your why, once you commit and you decide you're not going to quit, because once you commit to something, at least once I commit to something, quitting is not an option. I'm doing a challenge right now, actually involves a word go, called Get Up and Go. And once I decide I'm going to do a challenge, this one's 40 days. Have there been days when I kind of haven't felt like doing it? Oh yeah, I'll admit, of course there have been. But I'm always going to do it because I committed to it and said that I would do it. And once I say it and commit I'm going to do something, there's no way I'm going to quit. Because I know it's important, number one, to keep my word to myself and my commitment to myself, but also to the other people that I'm impacting. And we don't always know who all we're impacting, but I guarantee there's always more people watching than we ever know are watching in everything that we do, every area and every aspect of our life, especially our children, right? We can say things and we don't necessarily think it's getting through to our kids, and then you'll be in a situation and you'll see that the years of things that you've taught them just blossom and show up, and they have been listening, even though you didn't think or believe that they've necessarily been listening. So begin with the end in mind. Make sure you're building on a solid foundation, which includes knowing your why, knowing what it is that you want to create. And you're not going to know how you want to supersize and grow your business, whatever that means for you. Because how I define supersizing and growing my business in the business I'm in right now is very different than how I define supersizing and growing my Italian food manufacturing business. Totally different industries, totally different ballgame, totally different goals and objectives. As I have changed fields and gotten older and more experienced, what I want and why I want it is very different than what I wanted, 10, 20 years ago. So begin with the end in mind, build on a solid foundation. It's just like anything that we start, right? Whether it's a relationship, a new hobby or goal, a new business, or a new product line within our business, or a new service within our business. If we build it on a solid foundation with the goals and objectives and the values that we bring to the table, it's much more likely to succeed and attract the people we want to work with than if we don't build it on a solid foundation. My ex-husband and I were in the real estate business for a lot of years, and we rehabbed and did and flipped houses and things. And we would always look for a house with a solid foundation, a house with good bones, a house that was mostly a cosmetic fix and flip for us versus people that go in and do the whole tear down and rip out a house and jack them up and do foundations and things. So we knew where we were going to start in our projects, and so we only selected the properties and the projects that met our criteria, which ensured that we had success whenever, and there's no guarantees, but it ensured that we had a lot more success than we ever did failures, because we knew we looked at the projects with the end in mind. This is what we're going to do, this is what we expect, but it also matched our abilities and our capabilities and our desires of what we wanted to do and what we wanted to create in the world. So I encourage you to do that as well. Now, maybe you didn't start your business with your commitment and your why or whatever. Maybe you got into it for all kinds of different reasons. I've been involved in different businesses for all different reasons and whys, and I didn't always begin with the end in mind. I didn't always get involved with them for the right reasons. I didn't always do that, but once I realized I was in it, I had to decide, what am I going to do with it? And then that's when I would jump back and I would say, okay, how solid is the foundation of this business? If it's missing a couple of blocks in that foundation, I'm going to make sure I fill in those blocks and I seal those up so we are built on a solid foundation. I'm going to know why I'm doing it, why I'm involved in this or any other project, and then the vision of what I want to achieve with it. What is success to me? What is supersize to me? What is supersize your success to you? What does that look like? Once you know that, then you commit to it, and your success is virtually guaranteed if you decide that you're not going to quit, because everything on this planet is possible if we want it enough, if we believe in it enough, and if we are willing to put in the effort and the energy to make it a reality. So I'd love to know what your experience has been with this expression, from the word go. Share in the comments below. If there's an idiom you'd like to know the meaning of, just ask in the comments, or direct message me, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom, and we'll look into that. We'll do that because I want to know what you want to know more about. And it's fun to take these idioms, find out where they're from, what do they mean, and how we can apply them to our businesses today. Have an amazing day, and I'll, of course, be tomorrow. Bye.